Hey guys, so I got asked to do an interview about ceiling fans, and since the interviewer isn't here with us, I have hired the most beautiful woman in the world, my wife Nia, of the now famous The Glossary YouTube channel. Make sure you go there and subscribe.
Now famous.
Yeah, very famous, baby. How many?
Several dozen people.
Yes.
Worldwide.
Yes. So she's going to serve as the interviewer. The questions have been submitted. We haven't read them prior to this, and so it should be a lot of fun. The actual interviewer who submitted the questions has given you a bio. You want to tell us a little bit about him?
Okay. Okay. I'm just going to read it.
Okay, read it.
Okay. My name is Joe Peg. I ride vintage pedal start moped. I ride vintage pedal start moped. Is that the plural for mopeds? Moped?
I don't know. I would have thought it was mopeds, but I don't know anything about mopeds, so maybe it is moped.
Okay, here we go. Let's do it again.
Okay, take two.
My name is... Oh, no! I got out of there. How do I get back to it? Crap.
Email is hard.
I pressed something. Oh, my God.
Are you blonde now? Did we just change
What
hair
happened?
color in the middle of the video?
No, here. It's back. Okay. Here we go. My name is Joe Peg. I ride vintage pedal start moped, including multiple cross-country rides. And I do a weekly podcast called A General Guide, where we talk about all the great info you can find online. All the great info you can find online.
That's correct, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking, so they just take a different topic every week?
I don't know. I've never heard this podcast. Maybe I should tune in.
Yeah. Let us know where it's available.
Yeah.
It's like... How do I listen to it? What do you do?
Well, clearly you're into moped.
What do you Google? A general guide?
Moped podcast. No S.
What? Wait a minute. And I do a weekly podcast called A General Guide, where we talk about all the great info you can find online. I'm 29 and live in Portland.
Yeah.
So.
That explains some things.
While working as a web developer. So that's cool.
Cool. If we need web services, we know where to go. Go to Joe Peg Podcast in Portland.
Podcasts.
Yeah. So let's check out these questions.
Oh, whoops! I'm scrolling all past the stuff. Okay, because it says greetings and stuff, and then there's your thing. You want me to read his thing?
Sure.
Okay. Greetings. I don't know if he's okay with that. Did you ask him?
No.
Greetings, and thanks again for agreeing to answer some of our questions. Some may seem a bit silly, but we are a lighthearted group. That's nice.
Well, clearly you and I aren't silly at all.
No.
So this will be very serious.
We take this very seriously, Joe. It's not a game for us.
Yeah.
This is my life, man.
I know that's how you feel about ceiling fans, but what about me?
Okay, you ready?
Sure.
Okay. What part of the ceiling fan does Dan like the most? Is it the cosmetic appearance that draws him to the hobby? Or is it other things like the mechanical aspects of the device, such as the speed controllers and motor structures?
Very technical question.
Lot of parts there.
Yeah. Motor structures is a new term.
Yeah. Hey, there's a motor structure.
Yeah. I don't know if they picked
Video
up...
bombing our...
I don't know if that picked up in the camera, though, so people might have no idea what you're talking about. Somebody started a car outside, and we have the windows open, because it's the first cool day in the past week or so. Nice tangent there.
Yeah.
So, I started being interested in ceiling fans when I was a very young child. Probably like 5 years old and even younger than that. I liked anything that spun. I liked fans of all types. I liked hubcaps. I liked pinwheels. I liked sprinklers, the kind that spun, not the back and forth ones or the... Which kind of sprinkler did you have when you were a kid?
I don't even know.
You never went outside, did you?
Sprinklers? There's multiple.
Everybody's house when you were growing up had a different kind of sprinkler. And each one of your friends' parents presumably got together at some neighborhood meeting and bought a different sprinkler, so you had a different one to play at every house. Like the neighbor kids had the one, and my parents had the swirly one, and then somebody else had the one that goes like... Anyhow.
And that's a universal experience, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't even know that we watered our grass. I guess we probably did.
I don't know. I mean, the rain is supposed to do that for you, so that's a good point. But I don't know.
We had a hose. It went like...
Good tangent. Good talk.
What does that about?
So anyhow, I was fascinated with anything that spun when I was a kid. And then I kind of let that go. And then I was in 4th grade, and I was on my bike. My bike passed a garage sale, and the garage sale had a ceiling fan for sale that was the exact same model that had been hanging in the hardware store that my dad always went to. And I thought it was so cool, because I remember going to that hardware store with my dad and being fascinated with the fan. And I'd never seen it for sale or anything like that, or at the stores, or at the, in the ad papers or anything, because it, had been installed probably before I was born, and, So I thought it was so cool that I could buy the same fan that I remembered being fascinated with. And so that started my collection. And so I got on my bike every weekend and went to garage sales and started buying ceiling fans. For the most part, just ones that I remembered from earlier in my childhood. And that's how I started collecting ceiling fans. Then when the internet became popular, I went on there and found out there were other people that... What? Are you calling me old?
No.
I would like to point out that Nia is much younger than I am.
It's just, when they invented the internet, everything changed.
Al Gore did that.
Everything changed with me and my fans.
Well, everybody... Okay, you...
I'd get on Alta Vista and search high and low all night.
I understand that your house was a much more technology house growing up than mine was, and so
we had a laser disc. Yeah.
Her dad does buy, like, the newest gadget whenever it comes out. He's got, like, 12 cell phones these days.
We had Wind in the Willows and Breakin'. And Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo on Laserdisc. I don't know if we had the number 2 one.
Oh. That makes all the difference.
That might not be true. Well, because, it might have been past Laserdisc time. Although, Laserdisc...
I didn't know what a Laserdisc was. She had one in her house.
It's like a plate that you watch movies on.
That's actually really funny. Okay. Serious face. Back from commercial.
Oh, are we still doing that?
I'm still answering the question. Because internet. The internet was invented, and then, but, like, I didn't have a computer in my house growing up. You did.
I'm sorry. You said it so
How dare
aggressively.
you? Yeah. So it wasn't like I didn't, when I got on the internet, I had to go to the library, and I had to get on my bike, I had to sign up for 30-minute intervals. You don't know my struggle.
You don't know my pain.
Yeah. So anyhow...
You had a computer. I didn't have a computer.
I really see a little tear forming in the corner of my eye.
You don't know my life.
So, anyhow, I got when internet became a thing that I was able to access, I got on there and discovered there were other people that also collected fans. And so I still collect them to this day. I'm involved in the fan museum at Fanimation, and do some consulting, do some commercial work for ceiling fans, and so on and so forth. And I don't remember what the actual question was.
I know. What part of the ceiling fan does Dan like the most? The internet.
Okay. I'm not supposed to laugh. You made me laugh.
You're not?
Nice. No, serious face.
Oh.
Bad job.
I thought it ebbed and flowed.
Bad job.
Okay.
So, the point that I was making was that, serious face.
I'm doing my job.
Okay. That I started out interested in ceiling fans because of the ones that I saw as a kid, which had everything to do with how they looked, as opposed to the quality and the function and everything like that. Now, as I started collecting them, I, endeared myself to the ones that are better quality and the ones that had the cooler designs or the cooler features, or, obviously, I think I liked different types of speed controls. Like when I discovered you could have variable speed fans as opposed to 3-speed, I thought those were cooler. And but it started out just how they looked. And to this day, there are some fans that I collect that are poor quality, but I like them just because I remember them from my childhood. Like what's known as a Dayton Lasco is a good example of that. But yeah, for the most part, nowadays, quality is better. And yeah, really that question went off the rails really quickly.
Yeah, we had a lot of trouble getting it back on track, too.
Okay.
You want number 2?
Sure.
Okay. At what point did you realize you were a fanatic?
Fanatic. Well, I think we already answered that with question 1, that when I started collecting, I was in 4th grade. And, yeah, so I would call, unless you counted being fascinated with them as a really young kid, but most kids were fascinated with spinning things. Like, most babies like spinning things, and the question is, when did you grow out of it? And either I never grew out of it, or I grew out of it and grew back into it. So,
yeah.
we'll say 4th grade. We'll go with that.
Okay.
Final answer.
All right. What is your favorite brand of fan? How did you come to this conclusion? And how long have you been a fanatic?
Okay.
Should I just say fanatic? I just want people to know.
That they spelled it fanatic.
That it says F-A-N in all caps and then attic. A-T-I-C.
You can always hold the thing up.
Yeah,
my hand is huge. Look at that.
Should I do that?
I don't care.
Oh, that doesn't do anything.
It's shiny, though.
Yeah.
Question, favorite brand? Favorite brand is probably Emerson. And only way that I know that is because when I started keeping track of all the fans that I installed, places that I cared about, like in my own home, my parents' home, buildings that my church owned, other places where I would install collectible fans as opposed to just, fans I'm being hired to install or whatever. I started documenting that, and I realized I had significantly more Emersons than any other brand. So, by sheer statistics, Emerson is my favorite brand.
My favorite is Fanimation.
That's true. Nia doesn't like most of the fans that I collect, but she came with me to Fanimation the first time that I went and visited and loved many of their products.
Yeah. Yes.
We've had a few in the house here, but none currently.
Yeah, they're my favorite. Okay. Okay, wait, we gotta do that one. When did you discover the ceiling fans group? Ceiling fans group.
I'm assuming they're referring to the ceiling fan group on Facebook. That was founded by a ceiling fan collector from Iowa named Jimmy Pickering. Who's
That's such a good Iowa name.
Yeah. Jimmy, you represent Iowa well.
Pickering.
Yeah. You need a pitchfork when you get older there. And,
yeah, his farm.
I was going to say potatoes, but that's Idaho. Iowa's corn. You need to get some corn, Jimmy.
Is it?
Is it?
What's Nebraska?
Tornadoes? No, it's Kansas. I got nothing. So, anyhow, Jimmy Pickering had started a ceiling fan group on Facebook. At the time, I didn't even know you could have groups on Facebook. I remember Yahoo groups, but beyond that, I didn't know what groups were. And it had maybe a dozen members or a couple dozen members. And Jimmy sent me a message on Facebook and said, hey, can you help me make this a thing? And so I started inviting all the collectors that I knew and some people from the fan industry that I knew. And now we have close to 1,000 members, and various manufacturers are well represented. Pretty much the well-known collectors, such as myself and some other really well-known YouTube channels that deal with fans and things that are well represented. So yeah, it's not so much that I discovered it, but I helped build it. And I don't even remember when that was. Probably, how long have I been doing these group trips to Fanimation? About a year.
Like 2 years.
So yeah, probably then 3 years ago, if I had to guess. Because it used to be that there were various web forums that were where all the discussion happened about fans. Before that, it was Yahoo groups, then it was web forums, and now those have kind of fallen out of favor, and Facebook groups is the new thing. And it works really well because unlike the web boards, you can discuss it from your phone. So, okay, what else you got?
What do you like most about... It's my job to read them. Why are you...
I wasn't reading. I was looking at your books.
This is my job. Wait a minute. Here we go. What do you like most about the fan community?
Well, it's kind of hard to say because I don't know if we officially have a fan community. I do like when various other collectors and I communicate and look out for each other. I don't like it to be competitive. I like it to be, hey, you're looking for these fans, I'm looking for these fans. If I find the one you're looking for, I got you. If you find the one I'm looking for, you got me. Let's do trades, that kind of stuff. I'm a big fan of that, pun not intended. And then now we've started doing these group trips to Fanimation that I just mentioned, where if you're a collector or otherwise interested in fans, we assemble a group and we tour not just the fan museum, but also the entire facility of the Fanimation Fan Company. Lunch is provided, and sometimes we go hunting afterwards hunting for fans. I guess I should make that clear.
Yeah.
I
don't have that tied into anything. What does that have to do with anything?
Right. Go looking for fans. We go to thrift stores and places where you might find fans and go looking for them. And those have become really popular. We got a lot of kids that come. We got a lot of adults that come, and it's just it's really great that Fanimation has been so supportive of that. Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever put toys on the fan blades before turning them on? I used to put little paratroopers on mine.
What are paratroopers?
Not me.
You sure?
Like the little green army men, I think, maybe?
I don't recall any stories about you putting army men on fans, but I do remember the story that your father told me about you removing the fan in your room, which I think you denied doing.
I don't remember doing that.
Yeah, she had a fan in her bedroom growing up, and her dad claims that he came home one day and she had removed it along with the floor.
I did
remove the floor. That story tickled me muchly, to use one of his words.
I did remove the floor. I didn't like it. It was like, I didn't like it.
Well, I guess maybe he removed the fan, and rather than hurt my feelings knowing how I felt about fans, just thought he'd put that on you too, Wal.
It probably was me. I painted the walls, removed the floor.
But how could you take the fan away?
I don't remember doing that.
How old were you at the time?
Oh, I was a grown-up. I was like 16 or something.
That's a grown-up?
Well, you know, it wasn't like...
Remember that when Abby gets to be 16.
Well...
You definitely think
you'll have enough to worry about then.
Yeah, so...
Anyway, what? Did you answer this question? Do you remember the question?
No, I just wanted to...
What's the question?
Because you said that it wasn't you that put paratroopers on fans, and how do you remember if you don't even remember removing the fan? It could have been you.
Could have been me. But I don't think I had paratroopers.
Josh might have had paratroopers.
I had books by Agatha Christie, and I don't remember putting those on there either.
Mm-hmm.
But that would have probably had good hang time, maybe, because paper.
I would think that would probably fall pretty hard.
Maybe it was
especially if they're hardcover books.
No, I didn't use hardcovers.
You didn't have hardcovers? In my mind, Agatha Christie books only came in hardcovers.
No, they were all like 25 cents at the hole-in-the-wall bookstore. Check it out.
That's what it's called, the hole-in-the-wall bookstore?
Yeah. It's like a
Is that literally the name, or are we just joking?
No, that's what it's called. It's called the Hole-in-the-Wall, and it's like it's a trailer, and it's off of Route 7 in like Vienna. Like
this is in what state now?
Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, you probably need to know that, right?
Yeah.
You don't know where Vienna is unless it's like Vienna.
It's a beef hot dog, isn't it?
Oh my gosh. So hard to stay on track.
It is. So yeah, I never put things on fan blades. I don't think my brothers did either, to be honest. I have no memory of doing that, but a lot of people do that on YouTube videos. Not like fan collectors, but just like random people who want to make YouTube videos. I've seen a lot of that, where people put like stuffed animals on fan blades and then turn the fan on and watch them fly off. I think people did it with live cats, too.
No.
I want to say they did. I don't know. Cats always land on their feet, though.
I don't know if they should be flung from
a
thing, you know, high atop of.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Yes.
Why does Zachary exclude people who are fans of fans from a page about fans?
Say fans again.
Fans.
Yeah. I don't really understand that question, and it appears to be a question for Zachary. So
Who's Zachary?
Zachary is another fan collector who also moderates the Ceiling Fan group on Facebook, and he owns the Vintage Fan Enthusiasts group on Facebook. He's a former moderator of the DT Vintage Fans website and current moderator of the I Heart Fans website.
He's a busy guy.
Yeah, very busy.
A busy guy who likes to exclude people.
Well, I'm not saying that. Are you saying that, Nia? You feel excluded by Zachary?
Zachary doesn't return my phone calls.
Oh, well, I guess there you have it.
So. Yeah. I just asked you who he was.
Right.
What do you think about corporate branded fans like the Dr. Pepper fan I have seen online?
I don't recall having ever seen a Dr. Pepper fan online. There's a Coca-Cola fan that sells for quite a bit on eBay that I guess was only made for a limited time. I have no issue with it. I don't care about it. It's not a fan I care for, but I mean, heck, if you like Coca-Cola that much or Dr. Pepper that much, go for it.
All right. When you're working on your fans, do you have a favorite album or song to play?
I normally don't listen to music when I'm working on stuff because my day job is a musician, and so it's hard for me to focus on other things when I'm listening to music. Sometimes I'll try to learn music for a gig and work on stuff at the same time, and more often than not, I end up not being able to concentrate on either one.
It was like Baby Mozart. You know Baby Mozart?
Oh, I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's like when the moms...
Oh, you play stuff to the belly?
Thank you for going there, because I forgot to say pregnant with the baby. I not just moms, but when you're pregnant...
Isn't it just moms that have babies out of their belly?
Well, no, but they could just be like your mom.
I didn't know I could do that.
You know, she can play it for you now. It doesn't make you smarter. But anyway, the thing is that if you play Mozart to your baby while in the womb, it will make them smarter because they retain it. What is this?
Why does Mozart make you smarter as opposed to...
That's the name of the thing. It's Baby Mozart, I think, is the name of the... Like, Hooked on Phonics. It's not called hooked on reading really well, so later in life you'll have a lot of advancement opportunities.
That would be a better name.
That's just what it's called. Can't explain to you why they called it that, but I'm pretty sure it's called Baby Mozart. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
So it's the glossary on YouTube. If you have questions about this, go to her channel, not mine. I have no idea what the hell she's talking about.
And that question was...
What's my favorite album to...
or song.
So, I don't normally listen to music while I'm working on stuff. I have 2 workshops. One's in my parents' basement, and one is out in a small town outside of the city. And the workshop that's out there is words are hard. Predominantly.
No Baby Mozart for him.
Maybe it's too late now?
Too late now.
Oh. Wasn't that the hooked on helping you read so you can advance later in life? Wouldn't that help too?
This is later in your life. You don't have much later to go.
What you trying to say? I eat...
You're up there.
I'm not healthy at all.
More than your fair share of portillos.
Good shout out for a place that has cool fans installed, by the way. Way to go for that one.
Good
so, yeah. So when I'm at the workshop at my parents' house, it's usually during the daytime, and I usually just turn the TV on because I find the TV to be better background noise than music. Because again, I tend to concentrate too much on the music. So it's usually, they don't have cable down there, so it's usually court shows like Judge Mathis or the People's Court. And then occasionally, if I'm there later, then like Law and Order. I do love Law and Order. I think it's the perfect background noise because if you just pay attention a little bit, you still know what's happening because the plot's always the same. It's always the same person that did. Like halfway through, they find the guy they think they did it, and it turned out not to be him. And then a few minutes later, they find the guy that actually did it. And then 9 times out of 10, he's found guilty. But in a few, like, oh my God, it's a twist. He wasn't found guilty, but you know he did it. So Law and Order generally. Pretty much just whatever kind of show was on in the background. When I didn't have TV at my other workshop, I brought 2 albums out there to play on repeat. One was D'Angelo's Black Messiah, and the other one was a bootleg recording of a Lauryn Hill concert from 2012, maybe? It's a recent concert of hers, and I love it because, she fell off for so many years, and then somebody found this recording of her not sucking, and I was just...
Still got it.
I was so excited to find out that she still had it. So I played both of those on repeat for a while when I didn't have TV there. But I really prefer TV for background noise.
Okay. Do you think that if the world had more ceiling fans, it would help keep people more cool-headed? I.e., more fans in the police station to keep the police calm?
Should I just say no and move on, or should we try to give that a serious answer?
I can't. I can't.
You can't.
I can't.
I've honestly never...
I think it's funny, though, that we're worried about keeping the police calm in the police station. In the police station, we need to make sure that the police are calm, or things are going to spiral quickly out of control. He's not worried about all the criminals.
I'm not going to go there.
That's interesting.
If people want to go there, there's my Facebook feed for that, but I'm not going to go there. But I will say that I've never been in a police station with fans.
Let's talk about how many times you've been in the police station.
There are legitimate reasons to be in a police station, Nia. There is one police station in town that I know has fans because they bought out a former bank branch that had fans, so unless they removed them. But there's a guy in one of the Facebook groups who's the son of a police officer who sometimes posts pictures of fans, and he's posted some pictures of fans in police stations where his dad has been stationed. And so it does seem that there are police stations with fans, and it doesn't seem to be helping, so I'm guessing that no, that probably wouldn't help. The first part of the question, before we got off on the police tangent, was do I think... Well, read the first part again.
Do you think that if the world had more ceiling fans, it would help keep people more cool-headed?
I guess it depends on how literally you're taking cool-headed. I mean, if I'm comfortable, I tend to be less likely to lose my temper. Why are you giving me a look?
Because it's always very temperate in here.
And I'm always a very easy to get along with person when I'm at home with my beautiful wife, who I love dearly. You got a response
Shall
for that, Nia?
we move on?
Sure.
What was the admin reaction when everyone began posting in the Facebook page? Do you know what that means?
I think so. There are a lot of, over the past couple of days, a lot of people whose interest in ceiling fans seems to be different than usual. I'm not going to say they are not interested in ceiling fans or pretending to be interested in ceiling fans, but there's a lot of people who are clearly not collectors of ceiling fans in the traditional sense, that started posting all at the same time, almost as though there was some sort of agreement elsewhere on the web to all come over to the ceiling fan group at the same time, and a whole bunch of people started posting at the same time. That, I don't know, it was very peculiar.
Posting like what?
Questions about ceiling fans, but like not questions about
not
ceiling
expert questions.
No, not ones about
stuff kind of like the paratrooper thing.
Yeah, I guess that's probably a.
Gosh, I wonder who did that. Joe, do you know anybody?
It's possible. Or that might have been Joe's question. Remember, he got these submitted, I think, so it could have been whoever submitted.
That's true.
The question.
I'm not going to lay the blame at your door.
You can, but.
Oh, I did. I do.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
It's your fault. So yeah.
You know too much.
I think there is a place where the various admins of that group discuss with each other, and at least two of them were convinced that it was an attempt to troll. I'm not entirely clear on the definition of trolling. Do you know the definition of trolling? It's not a term I normally use, so I'm not entirely certain.
It's just an attention-getting device, right?
Yeah.
That's the sole purpose.
I think that's a good definition. I'll accept that. And other people other admins didn't respond to it at all. My response was generally, if it's not doing any harm, let it be. Once it starts doing harm, then delete the offending posts and or posters.
Delete the posters? Like, just remove their accounts?
Yeah. But I think one of the other admins just removed everybody that they suspected of being a troll before it even got to that point, I think is what happened.
Well, that's the admin reaction, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah, it wasn't really a great big discussion about it. I think a lot of the times the admins just tend to just do things on their own without always having a discussion.
It was like you guys get together and you're like, hey, who's this guy?
Yeah. Every so often that happens, or should we remove this guy as he finally crossed the line, or something like that. Like, if anybody's unsure of what to do, they tend to ask for opinions. But for the most part, if somebody feels pretty confident this is how I'm going to handle it. My arms look really pale on this video. This is clearly the fault of the lighting.
It's probably because you're sitting right next to me, and I'm washing you out, don't you think?
My face doesn't look that way, though.
Your face looks pretty white.
What you trying to say, Nia?
You're a white man. Oh my god, did no one ever tell you?
No one ever told me. Continue.
Okay. What do the mods think of the new page?
Okay. Some of the people that I assume, just an assumption, were removed in that process, started their own ceiling fan group on Facebook, and I was added to it, and I haven't looked that thoroughly in it, but there seems to be a lot of discussion going, because initially my reaction was, well, these are probably people that aren't interested in ceiling fans at all. They're just kind of trying to figure out why there's a whole group devoted to ceiling fans and why enough people are interested in them.
I thought it was just strictly making fun of you guys.
That's what I usually don't assume people are making fun. I usually assume it's people like, why in the world? Let's find out. Sometimes making fun happens, but that usually dies out pretty quickly because everybody has their own interests, and it doesn't take long to really see that collecting ceiling fans is no different than collecting cars or anything else that people might be into. Mm-hmm. But initially I thought it was just like people, okay, let's just see what this is about. But now it's been several days, and they're still discussing fans in this new additional group. So I don't know, But honestly, I don't know if any of the other admins even know that this other group even exists, because I don't know if they were added to it or not. I certainly haven't seen them there. I haven't looked. It hasn't come up in the admin discussion. If I had to guess, I'd say they don't even know it exists.
Okay. What is the oldest fan you've owned?
Westinghouse Sidewinder. There's a video on my page. It's from the early 1900s. Like, I don't know exactly when it was made. It could be like 1910, 1915. And I have 3 of them, and they all could have been made the same year. It could have been made different years, but they're around that period. And I suggested putting one in the living room, but you didn't like it.
It was probably ugly.
Probably was.
Yeah, I said it. Leave your comments below.
The glossary.
No, here! I don't have any ceiling fan content. Okay.
Yet.
It's going to be a long, long day. Okay. Ready?
Sure.
If you had to pick between 4 or 5 blades, 4 or 5 blades, okay, I see. What would you choose?
4. More of the fans that I saw when I was a kid had 4 blades. That was more popular back then. 5 blades didn't become popular until, like, the early to mid-'80s.
Why no love for 3?
That's a good question. What you got against 3 blades? Question asker.
Okay. Next.
Okay. Yeah.
AC or DC?
Okay. Well, very, very few fans have been made that run on DC. Back before it was kind of settled whether the U.S. would be an AC or DC, like the power companies would provide AC or DC to your homes.
Like VHS or Betamax?
Pretty much, yeah, because Betamax... Well, VHS didn't make it either, though.
It did too. What do you mean?
Well, we do sell a VCR. I guess I can't really talk. You can't still go and get a VCR, whereas you can still buy AC from the power company.
I don't know what either one of these things mean. I thought it was like a band reference.
Yeah, of course you did. You're so talented.
Thank you. Thank you.
AC is alternating current, and it means that, okay, so voltage is measured in its reference to ground. So, like a 9-volt battery is essentially 9 volts between it and ground, or the ground it provides from the battery. So...
The ground it provides?
Okay, when you're making electricity at a power plant, okay, when lightning strikes, it's trying to get to the ground. Literally the ground. Okay? So when there is a ground plug in your outlet, it is literally connected to the ground. There is a metal rod that is pounded into the earth somewhere, and there's a wire that goes from the ground plug in your outlet to that metal rod.
How do you know if it's a ground outlet?
The third prong is ground. Technically speaking, in our house, neutral is the same thing as ground. They're tied together.
Oh my god.
What?
It's just spinning off into more confusion. What? What?
Anyhow, it's very rare. Fans that operate on DC are very rare. Now their DC motors are becoming popular again, but they have a converter in them to run on AC in your house, and I don't particularly care for those because it's just more stuff to fail. AC is the answer to the question. I was going to try to educate the public, but it's clear.
No, go ahead. I just don't try to educate me because I'm like so many steps removed from understanding what ground.
Tell me about how things work in human resources, because then it's going to go completely over my head and I'll have absolutely no idea. Use one of your human resources term. I guarantee it's going to be more confusing.
They're intuitive, though.
As much as electricity is intuitive.
You say ground, and I'm like...
The ground. It's literally the ground.
9 volts from the ground?
Volt is a measure of voltage. That made no sense. Voltage... Shut up!
Purple is like the color purple. That's the
voltage is a measure of like the pressure of electricity. Like if you think of water pressure, so, and the higher the voltage, the higher the pressure that the electricity is coming to you at.
So so you measure lightning in volts?
You could, I suppose.
If you get struck by lightning, you're like, oh, that was just like 12 million volts, so...
I'm sure that's what I'd say immediately after being struck by lightning.
You'll pull through. Well, that's what the doctor says to you, and you're like, Chris...
Make that face again. I want to see how it looks on camera.
No,
I didn't get to see it on camera.
No, it's okay.
Do it again.
You'll have it for posterity. It's going on the tube.
The tube.
Are we orangish or something?
But you said I was white. I was very offended.
You said you were white.
I said I was pale. I said I was pale.
Because of support. I was giving you
You're the most supportive wife ever.
I am.
I love you so much. Okay, what's the next question?
What are your thoughts on air conditioning? Is this just like they give you a question and you just like freestyle questions? Because he said AC, right? And now we're talking about air conditioning.
You gonna freestyle for
And what's
us?
the next one? Conditioning your hair?
We're definitely moving into your area.
That's my prediction.
The glossary on YouTube. I thought it's an air conditioning.
Oh, because fans. Okay. That took me a really long time to get there. I'm sorry, Joe.
Yeah, you got like a blonde thing going today. You need to color it.
I had a long day at work. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, work sucks. I like air conditioning. I don't like it instead of fans. Fans help your air conditioning run more efficiently. So I'm definitely an advocate of both. Depending on where you live, you can do without air conditioning. I lived without air conditioning for most of my life. It actually wasn't until that we moved in together that I ever had an air conditioner in my house. Yeah, because you are very sensitive to temperature and you get heat stroke and things like that. And I was worried about you, so I immediately.
That's my personal medical information. If you work in human resources, you would know. You're not supposed to share that with the general public.
We'll edit that in post. But the point I was making is how much I love you. I went to air conditioning for you.
Okay.
So
those are your thoughts. Air conditioning.
In addition to fans, great. Instead of fans, no. If I had to pick one or the other, I'd pick fans, but why should I have to pick? I'm spoiled.
Well, because you put the fan in the window.
Yeah. A lot of times, if it's up here, it gets really, really hot during the day, but all but 1 month or so out the year, it cools down at night. So what I've done over the years, I put a box fan in the window, and then when it's at nighttime, when it's cool outside, I run the box fan in the window that sucks all the hot air out of the house and brings the cool air in, and then I just have to turn it off before it warms up again the next morning, and I can do without air conditioning, as long as, but that's not ceiling fans either.
That's true, but it's not AC.
Yeah.
Right, it's your
go
work around or whatever. Okay, oops, I went too far. What are your thoughts on the new bladeless fans?
The only thing I can think of, I don't think there's a bladeless ceiling fan, unless you're talking about the ones like the air shadow where the blades hide. If they're talking about
those. The circle ones?
They don't make a ceiling fan version of that, though. Unless this is not,
not
talking about ceiling
bladeless fans.
Yeah. I mean, it's supposed to be a ceiling fan interview, so I'm not sure which way to go with this.
He asked you about air conditioning. So you can make an exception for that one, but all of a sudden the Japanese O fans are...
How do you know they're Japanese, Nia?
Is that what they're called?
I have no idea.
You told me that one time.
I know I didn't. I don't know a thing about them.
Someone said that once.
Might have been when you were at Fanimation, maybe?
It's probably Abby.
Just making things up. This one's pink.
I don't know.
I don't know anything about them, but I have no interest in a fan without blades.
Oh my god.
What?
Such a strong stance.
I take a stance against bladeless fans.
Okay.
Vote me.
Okay. Did you like the movie Blade? Don't tell me this is not scat style interviewing. Are you kidding me?
Have I even seen the movie Blade?
I hope so.
If I have, I don't remember it. I'm sure I have. That's Wesley Snipes. What the hell am I thinking? Okay. I've seen it. I don't remember it.
It is. Good job, baby. I actually don't remember anything about that.
I don't.
I mean, there's a couple of them. I think, isn't it Chris Christopherson who's in that one? Where it's like a Chris Christopherson type, you know?
I don't know who Chris Christopherson is. Did I just violate our marriage vows somehow?
What? He's like the sage old guy. Sage old guy.
I would assume that's Morgan Freeman or...
He's like the white Danny Glover, who's too old for this. You know what I mean? But he's got all the tools. He'll take you back to his lab, and then he opens up the vault, and there's like artillery.
The Glossary on YouTube.
I like the movie Blade. I like sci-fi and action.
You just said you don't remember it.
I liked it, though.
You don't remember anything about it, but you liked it.
I don't remember the plot.
Okay.
I just sat there and talked about Chris Christopherson's role in the film. I mean, I don't remember the plot.
Okay.
I haven't seen it. It's like from the 90s.
We were barely born.
Whatever.
We were old.
Okay.
In the 90s.
Ready?
Yes.
Have you ever been to a fan convention or production facility?
Yeah. The American Fan Collectors Association has fan fair. I've been to that. I've been to Fanimation. I have hosted the group tours of Fanimation, had several smaller fan meetups. We even had one in our hotel room in Virginia that there's video footage of that you hid for most of it.
Well, my brother was there with me, so I was spending time with him because I don't live near him, so I was more interested in seeing my brother than fans.
Anyhow, she hid. So yeah,
Abby didn't want to be in there either.
Abby had no problem
with the pizza.
There was pizza. We usually make sure there's food if you come to one of the fan meetups.
She just took a couple slices out and then got back.
Abby had no issue. She just wanted to play her thing.
She wasn't doing Stampy at the time. Was it Minecraft?
I don't know.
Oh, it was Animal Jam.
You can't. But oh yeah, because we had the laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sagas of parenting.
Why do we care?
Yeah.
All right. So yes, the end.
Is that everything?
No, I'm asking you.
Oh yeah.
That question.
Yeah.
I don't
I've
know.
Been to. Well, what fan facilities have I been to besides Fanimation? I don't remember. I've been to some other fan companies, but there was nothing that was like worth seeing because most fans are made overseas.
Slimline.
Slimline is actually a model of fan. It's
Is
not,
it?
Yes. It's not a brand, but it's a model. Continue. Make up some other ones and see how close you get.
Yeah, okay.
Weatherby is interesting, though. There's Weather Right.
Well,
See?
New Tone.
That's a brand name. There's a New Tone fan in the second bedroom.
I had a New Tone intercom.
Really? Where?
In Virginia.
Which house?
Bristol.
Oh. I didn't think that house was old enough.
You know, maybe it wasn't. I mean, it doesn't. All you have to do is put the old piece of.
That's true, but who would do that? I don't know. She had a
cheap
gorgeous
person.
house. She had a gorgeous house in Bristow.
Okay, ready?
But the fans in it weren't good. Go ahead.
It had a big leaf.
Yeah, she had like some Hampton Bay thing with leaf blades, and she still to this day loves it. And I'm
It was pretty.
I'm pretty. You got me for pretty.
And it was like a chiseled type of. Okay.
Find a Fanimation that's similar, and we'll go with that.
I like the shadow.
The air shadow.
And I like the Kensington Kerming frog.
I have Kermit Frog.
Westinghouse.
That's an old brand of fans. That's not a Fanimation. What does it look like that you're talking?
Barrington.
What are you even trying to get at?
The thing that's silver and it's like got the light and the.
Oh, Beckwith.
Beckwith.
How do I end up like keep getting pushed this way?
I don't know.
You notice that? Like it starts up. You just want to lean in and get all the camera time.
I was just snuggling because see, I'm holding him.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I love you.
I love you too.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
Do you have a favorite fan to use while you are playing guitar?
You know, when I used to play keys on the road a lot, I used to bring a fan with me and sit it by my rig, and that was very helpful, and I wish that I would think to do that when I'm touring doing guitar. I've never thought to do that. I typically would use a vintage Vornado fan, because they have a very direct stream of air. I have some Vornados, but I think they're at 12 wings. So
That's a really good question, then.
yeah, that was a good question. I should do that more.
I
but
never
it's just
even thought about that.
it's just one more piece of gear to haul, though, and I really
Especially if you're traveling.
Yeah.
Like if you're traveling out of town and stuff, you would take that with you.
I'm gonna try to hide my pasty arm behind you.
I don't really. This isn't very comfortable.
I'm sorry. I'll fix it.
Are you uncomfortable?
No, I'm
with it?
fine. This is fine. Just gonna use an excuse to touch you there. Don't watch, kids. This is.
God. Okay. What fan do you have in your bedroom to keep everything cool?
Everything?
What does that mean?
I don't know. I'm wondering what that means too. That's my.
What fan do you have in your bedroom?
Well, if you watch the video tours of our condo, you can see that there is an island fans installed in the bedroom, which is a fan that I've been looking for since I was a child, and I finally found a few years ago. Actually, I found a couple of them, and the first one I found was white and brass, and I put that in the bedroom, and Nia liked it much better. And then the one I saw as a kid was antique brass. So when I found an antique brass one, I took that down, took the white one down, put the antique brass one in the bedroom, and Nia doesn't like it.
He claims, because here's why. Here's why.
Okay.
Because he claims that he wants me to be like involved and give him feedback and whatever. But every time, every single time that I've given you, don't look amused, 'cause I'm trying to be. Every single time I've given him feedback about what I like, he's like, "That's nice, but I'm taking that down right away." And then we're going to put this, 5-blade piece of crap up forthwith. And then I have to live with that for like a year. And then the one I like, he leaves up for like 15 seconds. Like, the housing isn't stable. The fan motor base is shaky. The box switch doesn't comply with the whatever. Right? Didn't
You're
you
so
say
smart
that?
and you know all about fans.
The box.
Okay, she's bitter because I installed the Fanimation Beckwith in the hallway, which was one of her favorite fans, and she liked it even if it wasn't a fan. Like, she liked it as a light fixture. It's probably something that she would have bought if she would have never met me and known anything, cared about fans at all.
Yeah, it's sleek, it's chrome, it's like retro diner. What do you mean it's not chrome?
It's not chrome. It's brushed nickel.
I'm just saying it's silver. It's silver, okay? It's metalish. It's not like wood, and brass, which are like the dirtiest looking of materials. Let's be real. So anyway, it's silver. And the light is white, and it's sleek looking. It looks nice, like it belongs in a 1950s replica diner type of thing, and I like it. So the fan is housed inside, like underneath the thingy.
Continue. Tell your story. We all want to hear.
It's like a tire, you know what I mean? But then
They
inside
have
the
no
tire.
idea what you mean. Continue. Inside the tire.
Anyway, I really like that one. And
So tell us what's inside the tire.
He left it up for like 2 weeks.
6 months.
Like 2 weeks. And every day he was like, I'm taking it down. I'm going to take it down because the motor housing isn't safe with the swing raft. Or whatever. He took it down. Like, put some little crappy thing up. And he's like, I wanted this ever since I saw it in the public library.
Nothing she's saying is true. So, but well done. Excellent storytelling. You win the storytelling award.
It sounded something like that to me. That's what it sounded like to me. Anyway, so he took the one I liked down.
Okay, so let's recap. First of all, I had the I put
It's true, though.
I put the polished aluminum gold line in the living room solely because you loved it, and I left it there for a long time.
It was up there like 2 months.
Way
3
more
months,
than 2 months.
maybe.
And then I put the Beckwith in the hallway solely because you liked it.
What do you mean? Like, you hated it?
No, but I wouldn't have put it up there if it weren't for how much you liked it. That was the deciding factor in what to do with it.
You were like, she
But
deserves a week with
It
this.
hung too low on its original mount, so I had to fabricate a mount for it, and I just wasn't comfortable with that mount long term. I didn't feel like the fabricated mount was as safe as I would like it to be. And then we didn't have a separate wire for a light in the hallway, and so I kept trying to because I wasn't using the original mount, there wasn't a place for a remote receiver, and so I kept trying to MacGyver a control for it, and the controls kept burning up.
Okay. This sounds just like what I said to me. And I understand that maybe you don't hear swing raft, but I did hear that just now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all well and good while you're sitting here. It sounds completely reasonable and legit. But as soon as you leave and like 15 minutes have elapsed, I don't remember this. And it sounds made up to me. He just didn't want the fan up there. That's how I feel.
Anyhow,
Anyway,
I replaced it with...
what fan do you keep in your bedroom? That's the question that we spun off from.
Really?
Yeah, I think.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, that's
I put the St. Louis fan up there, which I had no idea even existed until I found it at the Chicago Restore. So, yeah. So, and I have no special attachment to that other than that it fits in the hallway and it works well and it fits with the rest of the fans in the house. And the end.
Okay.
Okay, next question.
Okay. Could you ever see giving up fans?
Why would I have to? Would you make me?
No.
That's the only reason. I mean, I might have to downsize someday, or I might have to stop buying someday, depending on, how things go with space and finances and all of that kind of stuff. But I see no reason to lose interest. I mean, what's your favorite hobby? That's a tough one, huh? Okay, forget I asked.
I don't know, thrifting maybe?
I'm just saying, whatever, I mean, if you have an for what reason would you give it up? I mean...
Well, fans do take up a lot of space, and maybe the politics in the fan community with that scarcity mindset type of thing that you were talking about, that's another HR term, scarcity mindset. It means that you think there's not enough to go around, so you don't want to share.
It's a good term. We're going to use that.
Yeah.
I'm going to co-opt that. It's going to be a fan community term now.
Yeah. So anyway, there's lots of reasons that you might just say, I'm done with this.
I'm just saying there are a lot of guys that downsize given different changes in their lives, and they might go from a collection of hundreds of fans to just as many as they can install in their house. And that probably won't ever happen to me, but I could see that happening to me, but I'd still have the ones that I can install in my house. I mean, if God forbid something happens to my life where I'm reduced to living in a studio apartment, there's only one place to hang a fan, I'm down to one fan, I would, that's still not giving up. I don't know. I mean, it's just not something, it's not a serious enough thing to I gotta give that up forever. You know what I mean? It's not like some things where you're just some hobbies are they require constant investment and constant involvement where you're
boating.
Like boating?
Mm-hmm.
I guess, yeah. I was thinking even just music. People who do music for hobby, you can say, I don't have the time, I gotta give it up. But being into fans takes no time if you don't want to put time into it. You have a fan installed in your house that you liked, end of hobby.
Mm-hmm.
Or you spend days and hours scouring thrift stores and Craigslist. I mean, it's as much or as little as you want it to be, so you don't have to give it up. You can reduce it or expand it based on what your life allows for.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
That's all the questions?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, Nia, do you have any questions for me about fans? Or
How many
anything
fans
else?
do you have?
That's a really good question. I don't even know anymore. I'd have to guess around 500 if I had to guess. I have 50 in the museum alone. I have 50 in 12 Wings alone. I probably have another 50 installed between here and my parents' house and other houses where I have them installed. And then after that, I just lose count. There's so many of them.
Would you ever consider having a fan repair shop?
If I thought I could make a living at it, sure. It's just we're such a throwaway society that I don't feel like there's a living to be made. Especially most of them aren't built to be repaired anymore. So you bring it to me and I could say, yeah, I could repair this, but for the same cost that I could repair it, you could go and buy another one, and it's hard for me to justify telling somebody that, you know?
Yeah. But you've got, like,
go ahead.
You've got multiples of some fans, right? Like, you're always giving stuff away.
I do give a lot of stuff away, but I sell a lot too.
Yeah, that's true. I just mean you could have a fan repair shop and
sell used. I get it. If there was a living to be made in it, I would do it. I just don't think it's lucrative enough. I'll tell you what I would consider doing if my life allowed. There are some guys in the ceiling fan group who own franchises of Dan's Fan City, which is not named after me. I wish it was. But I would, and those are stores that sell their own brand of fans in addition to sometimes other brands, and then they also sometimes take in repairs. Mm-hmm. I would happily own one of those franchises if I was at a position in my life where I had the time and the resources to do that.
There's not one nearby?
No. The closest one was in St. Paul, Minnesota, but then that actually turned into a different brand. It turned into Great Fans, and I have a video tour of their showroom.
All right. Okay.
That's all the questions you had?
That's it.
Okay. I was going to ask you some questions. I was going to ask you what your favorite fan was, but you've already explained that's the Air Shadow and the
Backwith.
As you called it.
Backwith. I remember from 5 minutes ago.
You're so smart.
I'm good at this.
And those are the only questions I had for you. How do you feel about me having a hobby and occasional business dealing with fans?
I get it. I actually have my own obsessions.
She does. They're worse than fans. Continue. I'm sorry. I wasn't saying anything.
I can deplete my hobby. Not that I can, but it's possible to. Like groceries. If I had a grocery hobby, those can be used up, right? But you don't go, oh, I ran out of fan. I'm out of this fan. Better get another fan. Anyway, I like makeup.
You do like makeup?
And like nail polish, which doesn't really count as makeup, I don't think, in the makeup community.
I'm an expert in the makeup community, and I'm telling you that it does.
I think nail polish is called out as a separate
The glossary on YouTube.
And so I like those things, and like hair care is a big hobby of mine. We do a lot of stuff. Like I probably have 100 gallons, because you don't measure it that way. Gallons of conditioner between like storage in the house, and I use it like water in my hair. But anyway,
she makes her own hair products too. You also are into like kitchen equipment.
I'm into kitchen equipment?
Yeah, like when we first started dating, you wanted like every mixer and thing like kitchen
When we first started dating, I was mixing stuff by hand. I didn't have
You love like a set of knives, like that'd be like the perfect gift for you.
Yeah. I didn't have a food processor.
Yeah. She still won't use a food processor.
Like anything.
But yeah.
I did everything by hand. So if I wanted all these appliances, it's just kind of because like
whatever, you're very into.
Especially a KitchenAid with like an ice cream maker.
I sent you an email link to a KitchenAid on one sale a day for $170. If you want it, I'll get it for you.
Today you did?
Yeah, I sent it today.
What a coinky dink.
I know. What else do you collect? Because